Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday. It is another episode of Cloud Founder Weekly, episode 91. And today we got a great things to cover. Morgan Find is here. He's our special guest. I think is this your first time on the show too, by the way, Morgan?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got surprise questions for you. I didn't prep you for
Oh,
this.
no.
Even better.
Oh.
Darin's here with us as well. Hey, Darin.
What's going on? We're slowly creeping toward episode 100.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be video 100 on the YouTube channel. So I don't know what that means, but maybe we'll get some plaque. No, we won't.
How'd you get your counting so off?
Yeah.
Like 10% error, right?
Well, we had like shorts and we had some live stuff that we had to republish and things like that. So it's added additional coverage. If you go to that channel, you can see what's behind the show. But yeah, so this week, we're continuing our 10.4 coverage of Tanzu Platform and kind of deep dive into the AI services. But I guess before that, do we have any pre-show banter? Or we want to talk about anything fun and exciting, Darin, going on? Did your fiber cable ever get buried, or is it still hanging in a tree?
Well, it's halfway done. I mean, so the jerry rigging is still very much a thing. So there is the old fiber cable that was temporarily run is still hanging from the tree. There's still a coil of it sitting on the ground. However, they have since buried my main fiber that is, now supposed to come to the house, as well as the node is now in this nice little box. So it's no longer laying in the dirt. We're making progress, but there's still stuff that's not buried. And I'm like, okay, so when are you going to pull the temporary line back out of the tree and back down the street again? I don't know. Hopefully they address that at some point soon. But yeah, I have gigabit fiber. I'm happy. I'm happy.
So are you live on the buried line, or are you still going through the tree line?
No, I'm live on the buried line now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you have the tree as a backup in case
And through the magic of Starlink and I guess something with Eero and its ability to do like backup internet, because I set it up so that I use my Starlink Wi-Fi as a backup internet source for my gigabit landline. My wife was like, "Oh, they changed it? I didn't even know. I didn't even know that there was an outage." And I was like, "Isn't that cool how that works? Like technology when it works, it's great.
Yeah.
When it doesn't work, different conversation."
Why can't I watch YouTube, guys? Like, it's a Sev1 event with the kids. That's right.
So Darin, how many months is this going? Like, I feel
this is I placed the order for the fiber back in December. We moved into the house in January. They ran me the temporary line in April, and then they ran the permanent line, the buried line, in May. And I'm still waiting for them to like finish all the work. But
should we get an overgoing 2027? Does that seem like a fair line?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think we could probably make some poly market bets on this.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And go from there.
But
when will Darin's line get cut? I don't know. Cut the line.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny though, because like
the internet, copper.
Yeah,
that's true. The internet side of things has been like the least of my worries. I've had like water issues and like had a whole new water system put in for water softener, because well water is a different world compared to city water. I know, Morgan, you don't know what that's like, but Nick knows. Like, I mean, well water is different, and you've got to have your own filtration and all of these things. And unfortunately, mine started failing a couple of weeks ago, and so we finally had that replaced earlier this week. So it's the joys of a new house, and home ownership in general is just, there's never a dull moment.
Yeah. Well, Dan says HA fiber. You got to get some
HA fiber for sure.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I guess now, Morgan, since you're new to the show.
Oh no.
And this should be hopefully a simple question.
Painless experience.
Yes, but I guess, do you remember? This is what we ask all the new guests. Do you remember your first like CF push or first Cloud Foundry experience? And I think you've been around for a while, so you may have some interesting conversation around there. But that's our surprise question that we ask all new.
First Cloud Foundry experience,
or like, well, we started with like first CF push. Like, do you remember like the magic of your first CF push? But if you can't do that, like what's the first like time that you interacted with Cloud Foundry? Because you, if I remember correctly, you were you around in the Pivotal days or came from Pivotal?
Yes, that's probably my first experience was an interview in the summer of 2014.
Oh wow, we're going way back.
Yeah. I think my interview was actually with, I forgot, one of them was someone who still works here. One of them was with David Stevenson. So two people who actually still work here, and it was, I think, on the Apps Manager code base. And so obviously, like, Apps Manager was an app that ran on PWS back then. And it was this great recursive cycle. Right. And so the part of the interview was CF pushing it to test that it was still working after we made whatever changes we made.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So it was literally the interview for Pivotal included a CF push.
Yeah.
Which was,
I mean, we've heard a lot of those stories too. So that's it's good. That's a good process.
Yeah.
It's also kind of selling the platform, selling the interviewee to come work at this cool company.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there you go. I think you passed your first test.
That was, that was not as scary as I was expecting it to be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we, Tanzu Platform 10.4 released, I forgot when, some time ago now.
Announced April 15th and then launched end of April. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we've covered some topics, but this is going to be our deep dive into a kind of Morgan's world where you're kind of like in charge of all the AI features per se in Tanzu Platform. So do you want to kind of give us a couple of highlights here, what came out, and then maybe we can get a little demo. I can bring up my screen.
Of course.
Yeah.
So this was really the first one we introduced this idea of an agent foundation, right? This thinking of the platform as a great place, not just for running apps, but also agents, and really having a secure place for orchestrating and operating and managing your agents. And so to do that, we've obviously had our model gateway and model broker and hosting service for, I think, 2 years now, which
it feels about that. Yeah. It's been a bit, right?
That's what someone was saying. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But then obviously we're no longer just in the chat era. We're now in the agentic era, I guess we're calling it these days, of AI. And so along with the agent foundations for running the platform, running agents, we've also really added the MCP gateway in order to safely authenticate and connect your agents to on and off platform MCP servers. And then we started to see this other challenge, which is no one wants to necessarily write an agent, right? The way you write an agent or you program an agent is natural language. And so forcing someone to have to write software code in order to then write natural language to an agent was this annoying impediment. And so we added what we're calling agent Buildpack. So that literally with just a natural language agentsmd file and you let in with a CF push, you can get an agent running on the platform. You can bind it to MCP servers. You can bind it to the models we've had. You can add skills. And so really trying to create an easy way for the platform team or an AI team to manage and operate and monitor the AI consumption on the platform, the bottlenecks, which we've got metrics for. We can show some of that.
Sure.
And then for a consumer or a developer to easily spin up an agent to kind of get started really quickly with just our ubiquitous CF push.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's a lot, but I guess we can maybe focus how do we dive in here? The agent build pack to me is a pretty interesting construct, right? Because we have all these agents like harnesses out here, and I think we're kind of moving. If I look in the AI space now, if we look at some of the recent events, we're now in the we've moved. I think we're gonna we hit the agentic era, and then now we're in the land of no tokens, or land of a token and quotas exhaustion. So, but it's pretty cool to see all these harnesses pop up, but have the ability within Tanzu Platform just to kind of push a harness or an agent per se and just get it running. in your kind of trusted platform. I think that's a really interesting concept that obviously we will continue to build on, but then having that wire up into all these other services that we have, I think that's a pretty, that's been pretty cool for me to see and use. I've got a couple of demos out there, but we can maybe kind of go through that as well. But I'm really kind of curious how that story continues to in general as these harnesses become, like, it's almost kind of like the harnesses is just as important, if maybe more important than the whatever model behind it is, right? Because that really dramatically improves the experience and that type of thing based on, like, I remember back in the day, right, when this was kind of a hackathon experience, we had the little Spring music app, and we're like, sending a chat request like hello, and it's like hello, now we're like building things like crazy with it. So very interesting to see how time flies. But let me bring up my screen here, and maybe you guys can like fill the dead air while I fumble with VS Code. But give me one moment here. We can talk about some things.
Yeah, and I like this workflow too, actually, because we're kind of starting off with, hey, how do we get to the point where we have an agent that's ready to deploy? And really, that's part of the story of the agent build pack as a whole. Is let's make it really easy for somebody who's not a coder to go and build an agent, right, Morgan? That's kind of the gist of what this build pack does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You think of a lot of these, you're not like either a coding agent or a consumer agent. No one's building an agent anymore, right? They're just saying, here's my problem. Here's in English, in natural language, just go spin up a thing, go start it, just ask my question.
Right.
Internally, obviously, we're more of a dev platform. And so there is a little bit more of a openness to build, and developers obviously want agents that can solve problems and do work. And so a lot of those are, how do I integrate and hook up to things like webhooks and different problems in that area to solve problems around pull requests or bug triage or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And so having an easy way to just get started with those configurations that are specific to you and not focus on the harness and the loop is just a faster reducing a barrier to entry, basically.
Right. And for customers who they do have development teams who want to go and build, their own agents. They want to do all the coding. They want to do everything.
Right.
Obviously, we're still supporting that in the same way that we always have, in pushing that application, that agent directly into the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And we introduced as part of 10.4 a number of new capabilities within Spring, from an AI perspective as well, to really help, accelerate agentic development, utilizing Spring as the framework as well.
Yeah, exactly. We really like it's interesting, like Nick was like, the harness matters. And I think it's these blanket statements are where we keep getting into trouble as we're having conversations with customers internally, whatever it is, because it really depends on the use case.
Right.
Like, I think we're seeing a lot where the harness and the model shops are, of course, pushing this really hard that the model and harness must be tied together for the best success. But for easier use cases, like some of these models are getting so powerful that you just give it a question, give it a prompt, and whatever the harness is, as long as it can do a basic loop, works. But then, of course, there's other use cases where you've got a much more complex, specific thing, and you want to more tightly control the harness and the loop yourself. And so if you're a Java shop and you want to do it in Spring AI, if you want to write it in Python, like, the platform doesn't care. It's really focused on how do you safely and securely operate and manage the agents and connect it to the tools in a governed, auditable way, rather than make sure you must write it in a specific language.
Right. Yeah, and I think you hit on the crux of something there that we haven't necessarily talked through yet. I don't know where, Nick, you are in your
I am
demo phase.
Sorry, I'm here, screen share.
Okay. No, but cool. I mean, you hit on something, Morgan. I think that's the next step. So like, once we kind of demo this aspect of it, I think the next step of that is like, okay, now I need to make sure, like, hey, as an agent is out there doing things, how do I ensure that every tool call is tied to some sort of identity and it's verifiable? Like, because I mean, from a security standpoint, that's one of the first things you think about when you begin to give agents the ability to go do things. So we'll talk about that next, but now that we're ready for a demo.
We can stop killing airtime for Nick.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
Sorry. Thanks, guys. Great job, by the way. So yeah, we're talking about this agent build pack here, right? And I've got a couple of these demos. So I picked up this repo, and we'll see. This is the one where it's the pirate themed agent. So we'll see how this goes.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah. It was kind of one of my first iterations, but right. So like we're talking about like, you know, like the no code, the human language, right? So like all these, if you've worked with any of the AI tools, right? You may have the markdown format has become very popular again. So you know everything is kind of written in these specs or this markdown format, you know, file size, and it's basically just natural text, right? So I have this markdown file, and it's the agent, the pirate themed of the agent spec, where it's telling the agent to be a story refiner, and it's talking in, you know, like pirate speak about your senior engineer to look at Jira and all that stuff. Now, this agent that I push won't be wired up to this Jira thing. I already have it wired up in non-pirate mode on a different foundation, but I just wanted to show the push of the build pack and that type of thing. So anyway, I've got this ridiculous MD file about talking about it, and that's essentially all we really need. I do have a manifest here just so I can keep track of things. So we're going to call this story refiner pirate, because it's just I need to keep track of the name, and then we're calling the agent build pack, and you know, some memory. Now, granted, you don't need this at all, but just because I am doing different iterations, we can do that too. So let me do a quick listing here. All right. So CF push. I should be able to push here. All right, pirate. All right. So let's go in, and should be ready to go here too. And what's also really nice. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was going to say, no, it's probably not worth it. But I'm now getting private messages with pirate phrases at me. So thanks for that, Nick.
Oh, sorry. That's not me. I don't know. That's somebody else.
No, yeah, not you.
Did one of my open claws go rogue and start messaging everybody? I'm sorry. That's a whole nother show. All right. Okay, so we've pushed that. Let's go to let's go to the route here. Where's the story refiner? Let's well, I got this way zoomed in here. Thank you, VS Code. All right, we'll go to a new tab over here, and let's see if I can copy and paste correctly. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is kind of what I expected. But yeah, we pushed our story refiner pirate, but I didn't bind any models to it. So it's just kind of the empty shell, what you get without hooking it up. So, you know, it's given us some, you know, handy dandy instructions to bind to that application, you know, bind a LLM service. And if I go into hub here, let's see if I can refresh services. All right. So I did pre-provision this CF Weekly LLM service. So that's just kind of the all model plan on all of my GPUs in my lab. And we want to hook that up to the agent. So like it can talk to, we have the harness, but we don't have a model. So that's, we gotta have both to do things here. So let's go ahead and do that here. So we go back to my space, I think, and go to apps. Hopefully we can do that binding here. We'll go to our pirate, and we should bind a service to it. No services bound. See, I'm a little slow here.
I think you do it from the service.
Yes. Yeah, we'll go back here.
So, yeah.
Go in here, and then actions bind.
Oh, you're not in a space group. Look at the blue bar.
The blue bar.
The blue modal warning that you down. Yeah. You didn't make your space in the space group.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cheat here. I'll be right back.
Do this
get over here.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. I'm going to here, bind service, and go to here, bind this. There we go. All right. So that will bind, and we'll restart that app, which I can do over here. I'm clicking too fast, guys. I'm sorry. I'm too excited about this. So let's just bind. Okay. And
just a restart operator.
Yeah. Sailing the high seas of Cloud Foundry. Okay, that should be restarting. And then once that comes back up, hopefully if I have done all the things, we should get a model with a harness with some models. Okay. I think that's back up. Let's refresh. All right, so now it's picking up all these different services I have. So this is the all models plan. So these are all the models that we're bound to. Let's go to Gemma 4. And what can you help me with? All right, so now it's talking like a pirate. And he's based on that MD file I've given it, it's telling it what it's supposed to do. He's the captain product owner. So it's this whole premise of the story finder is to like look at inbound like Jira requests and like process them. And let's say if you get a bad Jira request, potentially improve it a little bit and kind of do some gating on that. So that type of thing. And we can say, what tools do you have? Which doesn't have any tools because we don't have any MCPs hooked up to. Do you have that type of thing? But yeah, so maybe it's got some tools on it, but I think those are skills that we've updated in there. But it does not have the MCP Jira stuff hooked up to it as well. But that's a quick demo of like how easy it is to get a harness wired up and deployed. And that took me, like a few seconds to deploy the harness and wire it up. And if you've used any of these other harnesses, they can be quite cumbersome to get started. So I really enjoy that it's a super simple like push go, and I didn't really have to worry about like downloading whatever harness out there, and didn't have to worry about if it's like got some potentially insecure supply chain, because everything's getting hacked every 2 seconds these days too. So that's like step one, baby steps of the agent. Do we have anything we want to talk about before we go on? Any questions? Is the chat's good?
Chat's quiet.
Yeah. Okay. So we could see potentially here too. I think we can even see some telemetry coming from the agent too, which is nice. So we're seeing our kind of tokens in and out, our latency for the total requests, which is all good. And we didn't get any tool calls on this, but I will find one that's already ready to go.
You should be able to use the config, I think, and you can actually see if those actually are skills.
Yes, we have acceptance criteria, which is part of that.
So
and we can see our prompt too. So so this is what the MD file that I sent up. This is the prompt that showed up, and it's telling it what it can do. So that's ready to go. I do have. Let me find off screen somewhere else where this is plumbed up and ready to go. I just can't remember what foundation I pushed to. But while we do that, what else? What else is? I guess since we're gonna start talking about the MCP gateway now, can we give like a little bit more of a deep dive? Why hunt for it? What's the kind of inspiration of the MCP gateway, and
what is the MCP gateway?
What it is, and how will it make this agent better? Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, so obviously, like right now, this agent doesn't have. I think the metaphor you've seen a lot is like hands to go out and do things. MCP, right? I think hopefully anyone listening to this, but who's not familiar with AI, model context protocol is the pretty standard, if not completely ubiquitous, standard at this point, way to integrate a generic API or server into a generic agent, and just kind of becoming well adopted in both sides as like a client server handshake that works between agents and endpoints. And so what we've done and what we're seeing is, you kind of hit on this a little bit, Darin, right? Customers really want the ability to have stronger controls and auditability,
right?
And ultimately in the service of governance and security for all of this. And so we're seeing all of the different services in the same way they provide a generic API and a CLI today start to offer MCP endpoints as well. But customers want, again, to control that, to have that visibility, and not every MCP server is going to implement the same feature set, to have auditing, to have control that goes to our customers. Maybe it's just for their own internal use, like Get's MCP server. We wouldn't be able to see who's using it. And so even internally, we want to know who's using which MCP servers for all of these Broadcom agents. And so what we've done is we've delivered this gateway that customers can use to connect different MCP servers, be them ones running on the platform as apps or off-platform MCP servers that are maybe running on a remote SaaS service where they're not delivering their MCP server in a way that can be consumed internally or in an internet disconnected environment. Mm-hmm. And all of that can be, for lack of a better word, plumbed and orchestrated into an MCP gateway. And once that's done, it gives you a really easy way to see all of these servers that are available to a given user or a given team through the kind of the platform's RBAC boundaries, but also gives that operation team, the platform team, auditing and visibility of which servers are being used, which tools within it are being used. To ultimately kind of, as we've been saying internally, to answer the question, who did what when, and to really understand not just what did Darin do, but like when did Darin do it with which agent, and have that traceability and auditability.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go for it.
No, you're good. Okay. You're good. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I found it. Sorry, I didn't know if you're gonna say something or not. But on my other foundation here, I've been side experimenting with really taking a whole collection of these agents together and doing things. But I have here a coordinator agent, right? And this guy is plumbed up to a lot of things. So if we go to our coordinator agent and services, so he's got all the MCP registered and the models and the gateway. Everything is good to go here. Yeah. So this is kind of we've got SSO wired up here. It's kind of a hodgepodge of services wired into this thing because I'm kind of been, let's say, seeing what I can do to kind of on the fringe cases or really push this thing. But essentially, I know this is not like, don't try this at home. This is just a kind of a side experiment that I was running. But you have a coordinator agent, and then it's going to spawns like use this Buildpack process to spawn up services based on like what I say here. And let's see what its prompt is. What can you help me with? And this is going to be a little slower because I don't have that. I'm not running this on a super fast, like my super brand new fast GPU, because this is in this lab over here. But let's let that run. I need to, if anyone wants to, buy me some more. GPUs, Nick. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I can only buy so many Blackwell Pro 6000s these days. They're not cheap. Let's just say. All right, yeah. So it's kind of busy. This is on 43090, so it's kind of sad even on there. But okay, so it's doing a PRD intake. So this orchestrator, this agent that I've kind of spun up as to do to intake PRDs and kind of decompose them a task and then like throw them up on a Jira board and then have the other agents it's wired up into to start like picking off the Jira board and working on it. Now this is just a kind of a side experiment. So I'm still working on getting the other agents to start doing the work and accepting it type of thing. But that's kind of what's going on there. But you see here, now that we have a whole swath of MCP servers registered this agent based on the gateway. So we have, and these are some MCP servers I just wrote as a side project. But we have our Jira MCP server. We have a CF Ops orchestrator, a build runner, knowledge base to have like knowledge, GitHub, that type of thing. So here's all the different tools. Here are all the different MCPs, and we can see how this harness is getting expanded with a lot more information. I guess what tools do you have? We get that, and I'm curious to see how many tokens we're starting to use here. Yeah, so we're already using a lot more tokens just on this last run, right? And that type of thing. I think I might have this wired up now that I remember the name of it. Yeah, so we're getting Jira, all that jazz. That's good. All the different tools for the MCP server. So I can send it a PRD, but I'm curious to see. It might be really slow. I'll just do it on this one. But we're kind of getting the gist though of like, you've got the gateway, you're registering, the gateway like holds all these different MCP servers, and then you bind that to this agent, and then it gets, easily access to these MCP servers. So yeah, when I like this too, as we're starting to see input, output tokens count up, messages, all these things. Pretty cool here. Cumulative runs. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think you go to the messages, you can start to dig in a little more too.
Oh yeah, we can see what's going on. Like what tools do you have? Here, and that's kind of obviously not the whole. Yeah, there's the whole flow, right? Because it's getting kind of long. It's hard to see within one little screen. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You can kind of audit what's going on, and then the config. Yeah, we have multiple skills here registered, and all the different MCP servers and tools. So yeah, that's why it's a little slow on these older GPUs. I've got a pretty big context window coming in on every request because I have all these tools loaded and everything like that. So this is kind of where you could push it. If I can find that markdown file, I can try to copy and paste it into there, but I think it'll make it really sad on these GPUs. Where's my markdown files? I even downloaded like a special app to view markdown files because I was using so many. I'll find that here in a second. But
you have so many windows. Sorry, completely distracted.
I know. And this is a cleaned up space for presentation though. You should see me when I'm not presenting. It's a hot mess of tabs and spaces and windows and everything. Okay. I think too. Let me see. If I can pull up that gateway screen. I want to show that real quick.
That was going to be my suggestion as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to keep me on track. There's so much stuff to show here. It's hard to keep my crazy brain entertained here. So yeah, this is a gateway that we deployed. That's loaded here. But you can see we have all these different endpoints, and even some of these agents are registered as like a MCP, so the agent can talk to the other agents. But you get that nice clean view of what you can do. I got Jira, MCP ops, and then these coordinator agents. These are actually other instances of this agent build pack that are running. That like it's a little bridge to talk to each other, and then like the knowledge and deploy agent. So you get that this gateway view for every MCP gateway you deploy. I think I can see that here in services as well. If we go to, we're in CDC. So if I go to the CDC hub, wherever I put that, no, that's all right. So we go to home. I got too many environments I can keep track. If we go to marketplace, service offerings, you can click into here's that new MCP gateway and usage. I think I'll get those tool calls.
You should.
Yeah. So we're starting to get the Jira list tickets coming in. Inbound rate, that type of thing, from the build runner MCP. So yeah, we're getting some of that stuff, right? Yeah, so we're seeing some of these clients come in, and you get some visibility as well from this view is nice. So that's nice, and you just deploy the MCP gateway. You can deploy many MCP gateways, but you can basically deploy one per space. It's kind of like I view it like similar to how the Spring Cloud gateway works. I guess we're calling it the API gateway now these days, but you can deploy one of those in your spaces and then wire up all your MCPs and kind of get a nice kind of connected view of that and controlled view of that. So let's see here. We're about 40 minutes in. We've covered the agent build pack, the MCP gateway. We hinted on some observability here. We got all the tools and everything running. What else do we want to kind of cover here? Where should I go next? Or I know Darin always has things for me to go next on.
Well, so the one thing we haven't really talked a lot about is agent foundations. And I think we've covered agent foundations a little bit on a previous episode. I think it might have been the episode where we kind of introduced 10.4. But really kind of talking about what agent foundations is at the end of the day. And really when we're creating, a new foundation and going through the process of vending a new foundation, what does that experience look like? And really, I mean, Nick, it's probably better if you just kind of walk through it, but really what we're doing is we're attaching a profile to a newly built foundation that contains everything we need for running agents optimally inside of that foundation.
Yeah, so we go under fleet management here. We see the AI foundation profile, and we can click on that. And this is essentially like we're giving you these like kind of pre-configured and prescribed view of like if you want to build a foundation that's geared for agents, agent foundation, you're going to need Elastic Runtime. You're going to need our AI services tile. You're going to need the SSO service for single sign-on and kind of like tracking, all these different, auths and things. Postgres for, requirement for the AI services and MCP databases, but also a lot of these AI apps and agents will want to do embedding and things. So they'll also want to spin up a Postgres database. And then I think we're including resource segments as well as a kind of a new deployment architecture where you can like cordon off the main, like the default runtime, like where apps go, and kind of forward that over to a resource segment instead of having the main EAR or main elastic runtime app run actually non-system app. So in order to kind of speed up upgrades and things of that nature. So that's kind of, I think that's also new in 10.4 where you can say like, hey, base elastic runtime, go to only system apps, but then like customer profile like facing apps go into the resource segments. So that'll help out too, managing when you start to get at scale. You can have different resource segments for different orgs and business units within your company, so you can potentially even control upgrade windows for certain times for different business units, that type of thing. So that's just why that's there. But this is kind of like the starter pack per se to bootstrap the foundation to get agents ready to go.
Yeah, and the cool part about profiles too, for folks that don't know, the cool part about profiles as well is, if obviously the whole idea is that we get the ability to do, we get the ability to really kind of standardize what our foundations look like. And that's really the goal behind all of this, is to create standardized foundations to be able to have consistency across the enterprise, because it's not just about one foundation. We're going to have many different foundations potentially in an environment. So Morgan, I don't know if you've got anything else to add to that, but that's really the idea behind this.
Yeah. I actually was going to go back to what Nick was saying and just the separation, and just really hit on that. Like, I think it's not just separating where our apps as the system apps run and your apps as customer facing apps run, but even more of a philosophical separation between the control plane and the data plane, right? And to really start to think about like the Elastic App Runtime tile as here's the control plane for this foundation, and the resource segments as the data plane where the workloads actually run, or the application-based workloads run. And to have you able to upgrade those more separately and independently, to scale them independently of each other, and to not have them as tightly coupled as they've been for the last decade, I guess.
Yeah. That's a much better way to say it. But yeah, that's that's a good separation too, because then you can do like we can update the control plane, and then we can potentially target data plane up, the app side data plane for
exactly
different windows. Like maybe one line of business is real chill, but the other ones we may have one or two that are very very change control friendly and or not friendly, and you can only do a change at 2:00 in the morning on every third Sunday or something.
Exactly.
Right. So been in this role for a while and talking to customers, there's definitely a lot of, whether or not how capable some products can be, you still potentially fall into you still got to do the kind of a really classic or hardened IT change control and fall into certain windows, and it just is what it is, right? So you got to work around all that. Exactly. But this should help work that out. Now, even then too, I think there's I forgot what we called it, but the ability to run multiple tiles or multiple upgrades parallel. Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah. I think one of this resource segment was one of the first ones that picked that up too.
Yep.
So
I
haven't even gotten there yet, but I really want to test that out too. So just
lots of goodness in 10.4.
We're still unpacking it. So I think that's what is that a good coverage for agent foundations, Morgan? Did we miss anything there, or you think we're good there?
Yeah, I think that hits on it. It's just there's obviously a lot more than just one or two pieces here, and we really wanted to make it as easy as possible for customers to not just get started, but to repeatedly stamp them out as they scale. And so with this, you can see it's either here's kind of an easy getting started button, but then also where that blue bar again that you probably don't read because there it is. No one ever reads those things. But,
warning info message. Nah,
exactly.
I didn't even see it there until you pointed it out.
But they're also customizable, right? Like they're templates, they're backed by files. And so you have the ability to copy and edit them and make them your own. And so if you don't like the Tanzu suggestion for getting started, clone it, copy it, and use your own profiles to manage here's what running AI means for me and how I need to differentiate and configure it for a specific environment or customer versus another environment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good tip too, because use this as a base and then make your own customizations if needed. I'm sure I would have my own profile here once I start using these things too. But I like the ability to have a base and then the ability to make my own too. So very cool. All right, I on a side note, I did find this horrific PRD that I wrote. Or I didn't write it, but it's based on this demo. So let's feed it into the hopper and see what blows up. I really should flip this over to the one that isn't slower GPUs. But is this the one? Okay, yeah. Hey, hey, build this PRD for me.
We'll come back to it 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I get my fire extinguisher and put out the fire that's happening in my lab right now based on these the inbound GPU requests coming in. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's doing some things already. So like it's it's firing off. So it's firing off all these tools, which is good. Almost there. Oh yeah, it's really cooking here.
Hop over to the messages tab, or the stats tab while it's cooking.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, streaming. Oh yeah, it's still running messages. Yeah, maybe I'll zoom out a little because it's kind of real zoomed in. I can't really see it. Yeah, so it's picked up the PRD. It's decomposing the PRD now, and it's doing some GitHub stuff and contents, and it's like creating an epic in Jira. So, oh man, if I have that, let me find that Jira. this poor Jira free account's been really getting
say, what Jira is this even connected to?
No, I just spun up my own little Jira here, Jira free count. Sorry, Atlassian, I'm really probably not what you're thinking here for free counts, but I'm surprised I haven't got like banned yet on it, but because I'm sure the API calls are not intended. Where is
Next Lab has a bit of everything, Morgan. You should know this by now.
No, I just
he's not hosting his own Jira.
Well, no, I was like, hey, I can get a free account and click a button. I'm going to do that instead of trying to spin up my own Jira and deal with that, because that seems suboptimal. Let's just say. I don't think you even can really anymore. Is this my? All right, sorry, I'm trying to find the profile. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think this is it. No, this is the one demo. Where's my other? I've got multiple projects, or I think it's the org. Yeah, I think this is one of the demos. One of them here. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, look at that. It just I didn't need to fumble for it. It gave me a link.
It's an AI great. Oh,
yeah.
The link
well, work. I didn't copy that cleanly. Right, copy link address. How about that? I think that came in clean. Maybe it's there. That was a copy failure integration here. Yeah, so it's spun up some things. It's talking about making all these different services at once, all these different things. So it's created epics. It's doing all type of things. Now, this is kind of where I'm still working on this demo, where I want to continue it and pick it up and have it watch this and do these things. So, but let's see if I can refresh this here. I'm curious. Yeah. So it did
update. Yeah.
Yeah. So I input 529,000 tokens out in a total 532,000 tokens, 10 requests, 15 tool calls. Yeah. So it was a little busy just importing that there, and it's showing it talk to Jira and talk to these other services here. So that's kind of more of the power of what's possible here. But I know a lot of the other colleagues have been working on this too, and a lot of excitement about what we could build with this, just because remembering just the basic chatbot days and then having tools like this of how powerful they are. It's kind of amazing where we've come in so little time, right? So yeah, and I guess we could talk some observability here, because I just probably made things angry. So within Hub, we have a ton of data we're collecting with all these services, because they're all running on a platform. And I've kind of even started building my own kind of custom dashboards to help monitor my own things. And I can kind of show that if you're okay with that, Morgan.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe start with just the default dashboards that we've got.
Sure.
Just the consumption dashboards, which, granted, they're not really in the dashboard section. Everything's a dashboard now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. In the marketplace, actually.
I think I'm too zoomed in here.
I was going to say, gotta zoom out a little.
Yeah, and then we'll marketplace server software.
Yeah, and then that guy.
Like this full screen.
So we had
real estate
in 10.3. We had dashboards that were per model.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to go to the specific service instance to see how much it's being used, but you never got a full roll up. And so one of the things we were hearing is, hey, how much am I using on aggregate, not how much is Nick using with his demo environments. And so we added this new usage tab directly to the model's offering. Hopefully we'll get a real you're cooking.
Yeah. So
we see that Spike is you.
Yeah, I expect so. Yeah. So interesting here. Input output tokens here, so we can do filtering based on foundation. Now this hub only has one foundation tied to it, because this is my dev environment. And we had the different models loaded in here. We can filter, so we probably filter based on that. Although this is really the main show here in town. So input output tokens coming in. We can measure that on the graph. Time to first token by model. So that's kind of important too, where if you don't know what that metric is, you make a request and then you sit there and wait, and right that time before it starts spitting tokens back at you, that's what the time to first token means. And obviously, as it was a pretty good value here, but we got a little spike here, as I said it, a few books of data to process through, but it got through it. And token users over time, so we had a big spike in tokens per second here. So we had it was 4,000 tokens a second here on this model. As I crushed it with information. We can see the app. Yeah, so that's another cool thing here. So those agents, those apps. So coordinator agent, reviewer agent, these are all kind of keys coming in that we view from that telemetry. So we can see it's super useful too to see because these are app bindings. So it says service key here. I don't actually have any service keys in this environment, but if you did have a service key, let's say for off-platform use, they would show up here too. But these are different apps binding to the model. So these, you could see who's using what, and especially if you have, shared resources, or in this token deprived world, if you have the benefit of an AI server in front of you, you can do rate limiting messaging. You can also monitor who's burning down the token limit based on your organization. Let's say if you're proxying to some of these third-party, SaaS frontier models, you get a little bit of visibility here too to help control what's happening in your org, and then obviously model inference by time, and endpoint and model. So we have endpoints, plans, right? And a plan can have multiple models. So if I had multiple, you see that the three models in this plan, but only one is active because I was only talking to the Quen model here. And some KPI level, like P99 average request duration, request by app. So honestly, not too shabby for some old consumer grade GPUs based on the data I just pushed through it here. But really like seeing this, this app level view as well too, to see what's happening, right? So
yeah, it's cool to see it on an environment that's not a test internal environment, and actually data from not real world, but more real than our internal environments.
Yeah, true. And again, we have, you can make your own dashboards. We have the data and what you can do. So I've been working here. I'll do a little quick here view here. So you can see I've been building some things because I don't know. I run this kind of on the side for some friends, coworkers here, and I like to know what's going on in my environment. I guess that's past life still haunting me for however many years being in ops and engineering. But we can see some worker readiness. So obviously, if your workers are going down, you want to monitor that and see what's going on here. But a lot of different, we're getting deep into like the VLM internals, right? Because we're talking to VLM, and these are all the engine stats you can get. And VLM's pretty good about monitoring what's going on here. So again, I won't bore you all with the low level VLM inference here. But if you're using this, using Tanzu Platform, we have a whole lot of data, and Hub provides you the ability that even if you don't like our own dashboards, you can make your own and kind of customize as needed. So it's a great tool to have in your tool belt per se. But yeah, without further ado, I know we are coming up on the hour, and now I guess I have another pop quiz for you, Morgan. But before that, do we have any other things we want to highlight for the audience here before we get back into non-serious work talk?
I don't think so. I think you hit on all the big AI stuff that we've shipped.
The only thing we didn't really talk about is we didn't really talk about Intelligent Assist, which did get some improvements with this release.
It's been staring at me the whole time.
It has, but it's okay.
Yeah. Let's ask it some questions. I'm assumed way too much. I gotta
Oh, geez. You can dock it to the left if you want.
How do I do that?
Up at the top next to the X.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe can I do?
No. Oh, but you can make it full screen. There's those arrows up there now.
Maximize.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm learning things new. All right. Yeah. So it's our tool. Yeah. So I guess as Darin was saying, we did get a big. How do I forget this? I'm sorry, everybody. But yeah. There's too much to cover even on one subtopic. Tia got a big I guess uplift. And I guess maybe we say it's a little bit more agentic, but it's been kind of really streamlined here, and it's a great little handy assistant to help you. What has access to all this data coming into Tanzu Platform. It can do, like health checks, audits, that type of thing. Now, it's one of the pre-canned questions was, how do I register my, I think vCenter? I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah. So that type of thing. I know, like even in some of the org level views, or the foundation level views, there's like you can do like the health check, and it'll like scan your system. I really like that one too, where just like, hey, go to this one foundation, click health check, and like tell me what's wrong or what I need to do, or maybe it'll be like, hey, your Diego is kind of close on space, you should probably update, that type of thing. But yeah, that's quick little view here. Besides the other chat interface we have, like, isn't this now somehow tied into like an actual Tanzu Platform MCP server itself?
Yeah, so it's at hub/hub/MCP. So there's two things that we did to give Tia its refresh for 10.4. One of them is we made it agentic, as you kind of hit on, right? It's not just a one shot anymore. It's really a reasoning loop, and you can kind of see it doing that in the top of your little window there. But then we also gave it more tools and more predefined specific tools for common questions and areas of the platform customers are interested in. And so we actually added a Tanzu Platform MCP server, which is at /hub/MCP. And so with that, you can either, Tia just works and uses it by default, but you can also grab that URL and put it into whatever coding assistant or off-platform agent, or even the Tanzu agent.
I need to authenticate to it.
Yeah. Don't just let anyone use it.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because unauthenticated MCP servers with like high-level access,
right?
A recipe for disaster, right?
Exactly.
That's why we have the gateway, right? Anyway, sorry. Plugging back to the other things. Right?
And then the other part kind of related to that is if you hop into the admin section over there for a sec.
All right, yeah.
There's a little Tia config if you're an admin. And so there's two. Oh yeah, you got to get out of full screen mode for that.
Right, yeah.
At the very bottom one, there's two interesting things. So one, there are a set of MCP tools that can actually write and change the platform. Obviously, yeah. It depends how much you want to live on the edge here. As you saw, it's off by default because there's a lot more risk involved of just Tia doing stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then the other one is Tia mode. I don't know if you played with this, the other big one. So full, disable, and full are new. For customers who aren't able to use models or have a much more regulated environment, they can fully turn it off. But the other one is if you don't want to use the Broadcom hosted model, you can switch it into full. And with that, you can actually plug in any OpenAI compatible credential you want. And so if you wanted to really put your GPUs through the paces there, Nick, and save Broadcom a few dollars, you could point this at your models instead of our Broadcom models.
Yeah, so that is on my backlog to try because I want to get this going here. But yeah, because I don't want Broadcom knowing what's in my home lab. Nah.
Right.
Right now. Yeah, that's I think that's a good point to bring out too, because as these local open source models have become more and more powerful, it's definitely something to keep in mind. We can plug that into because we could easily just create a service key and wire this into our AI models like we have been using, and kind of I want to see how far I can take this there. But as you bring up, a lot of customers are super regulated, and what AI they can use. A lot of customers are just full air gapped where they can't have anything, right? And like they got to have on-prem models if they want to use AI. It's just the story of their business or their security stance or that type of thing. So, and I think as we're kind of in a token shortage age, more and more local models I think will become more and more powerful, and NVIDIA just released yesterday a very powerful on open source the Nematron Ultra 3, which I unfortunately do not have enough GPUs to even attempt to run. But if anybody has H100s, or it'll be a really interesting model to run on prem to help maybe save some of these token costs that are going out of control. So, but yeah, we can plug that into. And again, there's so much content in 10.4. Really cool things I haven't even been able to get to. So maybe I'll think I'll write a little quick blog on this once I get to it. But yeah, I thought it's a good thing to point out here as a lot of progress being made across the board in the AI services front.
Now I have to ask Nick, are you going to leave write access on for Tanzu Platform MCP?
You
can see what it does.
Obviously,
why not?
I am full. I trust my agents. Maybe a little.
That's
too
right.
Much.
Embrace it.
Right. Yeah,
live on the edge.
Full vibes all the way. But I actually need to. I should wire that up. All right. With that being said, I know we're a little over time, and now we're going to pop quiz mode. Morgan, Since here, since here,
keep doing this to me.
This is maybe the harder question. Now, it is what it is, though. But do you know how we sign off on the show, or how do we leave the show? That's the pop quiz. It's okay. Nobody ever gets it. Everyone's like, "Oh, I've never watched the end." It's sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I see the good part, and then I'm like, "All right, they're wrapping up. I'm out."
Yeah, exactly. I totally get it. But we our very first show, one of our live streamers, our guest on there, did a CF buy. So we kind of picked up we'll do like a 3, 2, 1 countdown on wave CF buy, and that's how we end the show. So we should really add that to the CF CLI too, by the way, but like instead of CF log out, CF buy. But it's a completely unrelated and unnecessary conversation. But that's how we end the show. And now you know. So any last words, any call outs for our listeners, watchers, viewers, before we go? Darin,
start playing with it. Start playing with it. Let us know. Have fun.
Yeah. Very cool.
Upgrade early, upgrade often.
Yeah. Especially, and
especially right now.
This is our continue PSA to please upgrade, because we have all this great AI stuff, but it's also can be used for bad. So if you've been living in the IT space, you know that the rate of disclosures and CVEs found is dramatically increasing. So please upgrade your systems to keep up. And then one more call out: Cloud Foundry Day Europe. Cloud Foundry Day 2026 is the year. It's been announced, and the CFPs close on Sunday. So if you want to go or write a paper or try to speak there, check out the search for the Cloud Foundry Day Summit for this year, and register, submit a talk, that type of thing. So those are always fun, and it's a multi-day event in Germany this year. So I'm quite excited, because if it's not a multi-day event for a event of travel for a one-day event. So now the physical toll to travel to Europe is rewarded with another day or two to catch up on sleep before getting back on a plane. So I like it. But yeah, check it out. Last year was jam-packed, at capacity, sold out. So I'm sure it will sell out again this year. But register early. Check out if you're interested in speaking, fill out a CFP, or if you are a customer and you want to go, let us know. We would be happy to kind of get you up on the docket as well. So now we can finally sign off. We're our PSAs and call to actions are over. We'll do a 3, 2, 1. CF bye.
Bye.